Hi everyone, welcome back to the Echo Wood. Today we're going to be doing these really pretty fall leaf designs. If you're new here, my name is Logan and I'm going to be using my free brush set for Procreate that you can download on my website if you don't already have it. And to follow along with this tutorial, you're going to need to download the sketch file of the leaves that you can download for free on my Patreon. You can just join as a free member. You don't have to pay a subscription for this. All right, jumping right in. And to start off, you're going to use the Caramel Drizzle color palette that comes with my free brush set. So the only layers that should be there is the sketch layer and the background layer. So you're going to add a new layer. And I'm going to choose this creamy color in the first row and drag and drop, and then move that underneath my sketch layer and reduce the opacity to about 68%. Then let's reduce the sketch layer to about 25%. Next, I'm going to make a new layer and drag it underneath the sketch layer and go to my color palette and double click with your pencil to get white. Then I'm going to choose my gumdrop brush. There are a lot of different techniques to filling in colors, but my favorite technique is to just outline the shape in white and fill it and then use a clipping mask. So I'm going to change my brush size to about 12% and go around and outline my shapes. Just quickly outlining all of the edges, because for me, instead of trying to perfectly color in a shape and stay within the lines, I just like to make a clipping mask, and so I don't have to worry about going outside the edges or having any clean edges. This is my favorite technique to use. It might seem like a lot of work up front, but honestly, I think it makes it so much easier, and once you get the hang of it, it goes pretty quick. And once you've outlined the entire shape and you've connected the points together, then I'm just gonna drag and drop this white color to fill in the entire shape. And for this leaf, since I intend on doing the stem a much darker color and I don't want to worry about color bleeding into other areas of my artwork, I'm going to add a new layer and then trace a separate shape around just the stem and do the same thing and fill it in. And if you're like me, I get really confused about which element is on which layer, and so taking the time to organize your layers a little bit definitely cuts down on that confusion. So you can group your layers, you can name your leaves if that makes it a little bit easier for you to keep track of where everything is. You can definitely do that. Just keeping this really simple, I'm just naming this leaf 1. Next, you're just going to follow these same steps. You're going to make a new layer for each leaf, outline the shape, and then fill it in with white. And through the magic of editing, I'm just going to skip over all the tedious lining and filling parts. Now, going back and focusing on that first leaf that we started with, I'm just going to click on the leaf shape and add a new layer and clip it in. And choosing the first color in the Caramel Drizzle color palette, I'm going to change my brush to dusk and make sure my brush is at 100% and go in with an even wash of color without lifting up my pencil. Doing it all in one sweep creates a much more even look, and I'm going to go in and double layer it just to give it a little bit more color. Next, I'm going to work on the veining, so I'm going to add a new layer, clip it in, and I'm going to change the color to this darker brown color, and I'm going to change my brush to one of the default brushes. So I'm going to go to Calligraphy and choose Blotchy, and I'm going to set my brush size to about 7%. Now I'm just going to gently go in and trace all of the veining. Okay, so keeping that darker brown color, I'm going to add a new layer on top of the veining, go back to dusk, and just kind of gently push the color into the edges just to give it a little bit more of a natural watercolor effect. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of a charcoal texture to the leaf. And so I'm going to go to charcoals and then choose vine charcoal and change my brush size to about 20% and just go in gently, just giving it a little bit more texture and contrast. And just to give it one little extra touch of added effect, I'm going to go in to the water brush section and choose water flicks. And then I'm just going to add a couple of these little dots just to give it a little bit more interest. Then the last thing to finish on this leaf is the stem. I'm going to add a new layer, clip it in, go back to dusk, and just gently add some texture, make it a little bit uneven. And I'm going to go in again and just do a few more details until it looks something like this. Then you're just going to repeat all of these same steps with the other leaves. Going in with the first wash of color using dusk, blotchy with a slightly darker color to do the veining, doing any additional texture with a darker color, also with the dusk brush, going into charcoals and choosing vine charcoal for the brush, and then ending it with the water brush called Water Flicks and adding a little bit more detail. It's just those same steps over and over again. And now I'm going to be quiet for a while and play some relaxing music. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. I would absolutely love to see how your leaves turned out, so go ahead and tag me on Instagram at echowood_designs. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment below. If you liked this video, I do have some other fall themed tutorials for you to check out. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thanks for being here.